Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Mile 17 podcast. As always, so grateful that you're here with me today. I am excited to cover what I am talking about today because I think that it will resonate with a lot of you. And if you're wondering, Kona is not going to be popping up in today's episode because she would not leave me alone. She really wanted to play. So she's away. She's playing in the room. And when we're done, I will go outside and play fetch with her so that she will chill out. Anyways, so today I wanted to get on here and chat about playing it safe and how we live our lives. So I've noticed just through years of experience and knowing people and just seeing how society functions, it's so interesting what is pounded into our brains. The American dream. What you're supposed to do is graduate high school with your 4.0, get all these scholarships, go off to college, graduate college, get that 9 to 5 job, pay off all your student loans, start your 401k, get married, have a baby, have another baby, buy another house, build a fence, get a dog, rinse and repeat until you die. And for me, that was just something that never really resonated with me. I never felt that want to have this just like quote unquote normal routine life. And I think that it's not a bad thing if that's something that you want. If you really love that idea of having the 9 to 5, giving you that regular routine schedule, and getting married young, having the kids, like if that's the life you want, like go for it. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But I think for a lot of people that is just not a reality and something that a lot of us are wanting to do to spend our lives. But it's so it's so pressed on us as we're growing up that this is the route that we have to go down. And I talked about this in my episode with Jasmine was we're so we're so almost like forced to like go to college and get that degree. And like like as young kids, especially when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, like that's a lot of pressure. And what I found when I went off to college is so many people that I was there with were like, this is not for me, I don't want to be here. And all you're doing is like wasting money. Like that's like thousands and thousands of dollars to go do what, like sometimes I look back on my college career and I'm like, again, like I would never change at all. Like how I did it. It was amazing. I think it was a part of my journey, part of my process. At the very least, if anybody that goes to college and gets a bullshit degree, like if you go to the right college and you have a great time, like, yeah, you spent thousands of dollars, but I really hope that you had a really great time and learned a lot about yourself and grew as a human because that was such an important and vital time for me in my life. And yes, there's things that maybe I would have done differently, but at the end of the day, I'm happy with how that went for me. Then after college, it's get the job, work 9 to 5, start your 401k, get ready for retirement. Like all these things are pounded into our head. Like it's like so frowned upon to maybe take a gap year or to go to a trade school or like do all these things that like are not the typical like route that we're supposed to be taking. And I think that a lot of this stems from fear and from maybe it's from our parents or from our grandparents. It's a generational thing. Like it's like a fear-based thing that's like, if you don't do this, you're not going to survive because maybe that's what they had to do to survive. And what you're not realizing is like we're in a different time. Like there's so many options for things that you can do that you don't have to live in this like scarcity mindset that if you decide to go a different route or like take a risk or like move to another country or to another state or whatever it is that like your whole life is over. And that's something that I've really had to sit back and realize because not that I graduated and got this 9 to 5 job, like I'm a nurse, I work in a hospital and I've kind of dabbled in different types of nursing, but I think we can get so stuck in that fear and that scarcity of like, I need to be doing this. Like if I don't have all this money saved for retirement, if I don't have XYZ, like I'm gonna fail. I'm never gonna make it. Like I'm not gonna be okay. And for me personally, something I've had to like sit back and think about is, like I don't have children. I don't plan on having children. And, for me, it's like I I want to take these risks. Like I want to do something bigger with my life than being a nurse and doing this for 30, 40 years and then retiring. And again, like if that's your course and you love it, like go for it, like go all in and like don't feel bad or feel guilty about it. If you're not this big dreamer who has these big visions and goals and things that you want to achieve that are like so far out of this world, like that's fine. Like it's okay to live a life where you're comfortable and that you can build and craft a life that's comfortable for you. Like I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it. But again, for my people who are dreamers and people who like have this vision that maybe they're afraid of or like nobody else can see, like I'm here to tell you to go for it. And I'm talking to myself too. Like this, even just starting this podcast and, visions that I have for myself far beyond this, it's scary. And when you look at it, like sometimes it's like, I don't think I can achieve that. Like, that's not for me. Like, I'm not that person. And I have to reel myself back in and be like, anybody out there who's done something big or something great or written a book or has a chart topping podcast or whatever it is, like they're people too. And that we're all capable of achieving these dreams and these goals and these aspirations that we want if we really take the time to sit back and ask ourselves, like, is this the route? Is this the life that I want to live? Is this the route I want to go down? Is this the journey, the quest I want to take? And if it is, then go for it. Like you don't need the approval of anybody else. Like that's our problem is we seek approval from our friends and our family. And if we don't have that like support and approval, then we curl back up into our shell and just go about our daily lives doing something that we really don't want to do. And this can go for things that is not even career based either. Like a lot of us live in so much fear and whether that be around I have a great example here. I was really trying to talk my fiance into doing a half marathon because I have the full Honolulu marathon that I'm running in December of 2024. And so I was trying to convince him to do a half marathon with me because I really want to do one. And, I think it's like a good, just like halfway point to kind of just like go out there, be in like the race atmosphere, from research things that I've, read. It's a good foundation, good thing to do while you're training. Just kind of breaks things up. Like I said, gives you that race mentality and just gives you kind of like a place to see how your progress is going. And I wanted him to do it with me, and he's never done one. I've never actually done a half marathon either. All I've done is the full marathon. And he was like, so I think it was more of like a fear thing of not wanting, not sure if he can finish and going through all the training. And so, I told him, I said, I'll give you 48 hours and I want you to give me a good excuse as to why you can't do it. And he didn't. And he told me that he'll do it just so that I'll shut up. And that was good enough for me. So we're signed up for one in June. We're going to do a half marathon. It's in Gloucester, which is North Shore, Boston, and I'm super excited. So stay tuned for all that training. I'm sure that you'll be able to see some Instagram reels as we're going through our training and some YouTube. Yeah. So anyway, so again, if it's not business, like if your biggest aspiration, like this, you have this just like itch to start a business, you have a great idea, something that you've always wanted to do, but you're not exactly sure how it's going to go. Like, just go for it. Like what are you waiting for? Is my question. And you need to sit down and really ask yourself that. Like, what are you waiting for? It's never going to be the perfect time. The stars are never going to align where you're going to be sitting there just chilling, like, yep, now I'm ready to start that business. Like everything's ready to go. I'm good to go. Like that fear is always going to be there. That doubt is always going to be there. And even if you put your whole heart into it and you fail, like at least you can be like, I tried. I put everything that I had into this. And if I failed, I failed, but I tried. And that to me is a win versus, getting to the end of your life and being like, damn, like I really should have gone for it. I should have tried to start that business. I should have gone on that 6 month trip to Europe and couch surfed and just done all these great things. Like, don't get to the end of your life and wish that. And I think there's a fine balance in life between not being reckless and, blowing all your money, not planning for the future, and also, not holding on to everything and being afraid and fear based in all of your decisions. Because again, you're going to get to the end of your life and be like, okay, sitting on X amount of dollars for what? Why couldn't I have tried to start that business or, done all these amazing things that I wanted to do because I was afraid? And so when I say like to have that balance, like you really have to weigh out risks associated with the decisions that you're making. If you're in your 20s and 30s, like that's kind of the time to like, make some big choices, like take some risks. Like if there's something that you're just like itching to do, like don't wait, like go do it. As I was thinking about this topic, I got on Google and I looked up what is the life expectancy of humans in the world. And the first thing that popped up on there is 72.27, and that was in 2020. So I am sure with COVID that the life expectancy went down a little bit because a lot of people died. But think about that. Think about where you are in your life. Like, I'll just give you perspective. I am 27, almost 28. So, if the average life expectancy is 72, like, you can, average out, like, you got around, 50-ish years left if all goes well. And that's, again, if all goes well and nothing tragic happens between now and then. And so, what I'm trying to get through to you is, why get to some point in your life to where you sit there and you're like, all these things that I could have done, and I was afraid, because I was afraid of what my friends and family were thinking of me. I was afraid of society judging me. Like, I don't know how to stress it enough to you to just go for it and to not care what everybody else is thinking, because what's happening is anybody that's judging you and speaking ill about you for the choices that you're making are dealing with their own insecurities and maybe their own fears, and wishing that they had the confidence to go for something in their life, but they just haven't. Like, maybe it's because their partner's not supporting them, or maybe they had kids when they really didn't want to, and even if they love their kids so much and they're the biggest blessing in their life, like, there's still a part of them that's like, man, like, I wish that I had done X, Y, and Z before. And, if you are somebody who had kids young, like, I think a lot of people get into this mindset that it's like, oh, like, this is my life. I've got to be a parent. And it's like, yes, you do. Like, that is true. Like, you need to show up. You have to be there. But, like, your life is not over. For example, my mom had kids very young. She had me and my sister, I think by the time she was around 21, 22. And it's like, she's living her life now. Like, by the time she was 40, me and my sister were out of the house, off to college, and her life has flourished since then. Like, you have chapters of your life, and your life is not over because one thing has happened. And if you're living in a fear-based mindset, like, you're never going to do and achieve the things that you want to achieve. When I was thinking about all of this, the main topic that kept coming back into my head was money. Like, I think that money really controls a lot of people's choices, and is the reason that a lot of people don't go for things that they want, because of finances. And my only, like, I'm not here to give financial advice at all, but what I can say is to, start doing some research. Like, someone that I've really been loving their work is Ramit Sethi. I think that's how you say his name, but look him up on Instagram, look him up on YouTube. He's got some books that I've bought. I haven't read them yet, but his work is amazing. He talks about just crafting a life that's rich to you. Like, what is your rich life? Like, when you sit down and you ask yourself, like, what do I want? Like, what drives me forward? What makes me happy and joyful? And it's not the same for everybody. Some people don't like to travel, which is amazing. Like, you don't have to. Some people, love to have that latte every day. And if you do, then have the freaking latte. Like, don't restrict yourself because you're so afraid of, like, the financial burden that's going to put on you. Like, if that's what he says, though, if that's something that really you want, is that everyday latte from your favorite coffee shop, then you need to make that a balance, and, maybe have to cut something else out that's not as important to you. So it's not to say, like, all these things make me so happy. Like, I need this new bag, I need this new car, I need this new house. Plus, I want my latte every day and this bagel sandwich as well. Like, you have to prioritize, like, what's important to you. And, like, there's so many ways to just shift things around, in especially in your financial world, financial life. And if you're not taking control, then the money's going to control you, and you are going to live a life full of scarcity and fear, when every single day all you can think about is the financial burden that's on your life. And, even right now, like, my partner and I, we have compiled how much debt we need to pay off. We gave ourselves a timeline, and we're working towards it. Like, we're just throwing what we have at that debt and just getting it paid down. And when you just take control and realize that, like, the situation you've gotten yourself into is your doing, it opens up a world of opportunity for you. Like, nobody forced you to go to college, even if you were, under you had your parents that were, like, really down your neck to go, and, like, you felt pressured. Like, I get it. Like, when you're 18, like, what choice do you really have? But if you have that debt, like, take control of it, take accountability, and just start working towards it. And, just build and craft this life that is just like amazing and wonderful for you, that you love living every day, and that's not based around fear. Because a lot of people live that way, and you're going to get to the end of your life, whether that be 72, 62, 42, 82, or 92, and be like what the hell? Like what was this all for? And that to me has been like such a driving force behind my life is I don't want to get there and be like, damn, like I missed out on some amazing opportunities. I didn't go all in on myself because I was afraid. All right. So that's what I've got for you. I really hope that this resonates with some of you and that this helps you in just making some choices. I'm not telling you to be reckless and to be stupid, but there is something so cool and so honorable about just like taking a risk and betting on yourself. Like, just think about it. Think about how many people are in this world and how much opportunity is out there. You've got to let go of that scarcity mindset and thinking that like you can't do it or this is not for you or you're not the type of person to XYZ. Like you have to go all in on yourself and you have to fully believe and do the work that propels you forward. So, thanks for coming today. I love this episode. This topic is something I'm very passionate about because I think, especially just with what I do, I'm going to allude to being a nurse a lot because I do it all the time. Is so many people are just not happy with the lives that they've lived. And if you don't take control and take accountability, this life will run you. This world will take over for you, and you will be stuck in the passenger seat, in the back seat, in the trunk, just riding along, watching your life pass you by. So don't be that person. Start now. If nobody else will, bet on yourself. Be your biggest cheerleader because at the end of the day, it's all you need is you. So hope this helps somebody. Please share this episode on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on YouTube, wherever you have your socials. Share it with a friend. Like and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And follow me, follow the journey along on Instagram and TikTok at ColtonLord17. I am loving this. This is so fun. And I love being here with all of you and just talking through life. It's great. So this is the Mile 17 podcast. This is Colton Lord, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.